Hey peeps, happy Sunday. Good morning. How is everybody? I am still in cutting out mode and I'm currently ironing my Cobra Corsage. Just had an email to say that I've gone live. Good to know. I'm going to hopefully turn the sound off on my phone and pop the chat up on my phone because I am going to be needing to be over by the ironing board. There we go. So Wilhelmine says, hi sweetie, hello, welcome. How is everyone today? Leslie's here, good morning. Wilhelmine says, good afternoon. It is technically still morning. We've got 7 minutes of morning left. Where am I going to put this? We've gone, our clocks have gone forward. So we've lost an hour this morning. But I actually was ready to start the stream at 11 because I did say I was going to start a bit earlier because Rachel's doing a live stream later on this afternoon from 4 o'clock. It's going to be her live sew along. So we'll see how I go, but probably going to go till 4 and then we can join Rachel for her live sew along. And then obviously Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door with her fabrics later this evening. So lots of sewing entertainment today, which is always nice. I really need a new iron. So many of you said that the Oslio Standy Uppy iron was annoying for dressmakers, so maybe I won't get that one. Caroline's here, says morning. Megan's here. Good morning, Shiny Peeps. Good morning. Justin UK says hello. Hello. Laura says good morning from Ohio. Good morning. Deb says 10 p.m. in Melbourne, Australia. Good evening. Leslie says I finally made it early. Welcome, Leslie. Oh, that isn't so that the internet connection's gone down, does it? No, it's not. I'm far away, so I cannot see. Susan says good morning. Good morning. SSUG says morning. Isolating in my bedroom with COVID today. Currently doing some cross stitch in bed and hoping to head to the other side of the room to stitch together my COVID cardie soon. Oh, you poor thing. I hope you feel better soon. Sonia says hi, Shana Peeps from Brisbane, Australia. Good evening. Elena's here. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome. So yeah, I'm ironing my Kiwi Cobra Corsage so that I can set it up to get it cut out because I didn't get it done this week until now. Yesterday was spent editing and I took Thursday off completely and did zero work on Thursday, which was very chilled. Very chilled indeed. So this is getting out like the sort of like the really deep creases, but it's not making it like super smooth. So definitely need a new iron. I do like that this doesn't have a cord. I do like that feature of it. Because not having to kind of constantly battle with a cord is nice. But it definitely isn't the best iron in the world ever. Okay. There's my fabric all ironed, and now I need to get it onto the tabletop so I can cut it out. Karen says, good morning, Sean from Texas. Good morning. So it's Mothering Sunday here in the UK. Mum's cupcake bouquet has arrived. Should have taken a photo of it. I've taken a video of it. So they are cupcakes that look like flowers. And they're very pretty. So let's get this flat on the table and on grain so that I can start cutting out the 8577. And I know I don't have to make an 8577 with it, but I love that pattern. So I want to make an 8577 with it. I've got 5 meters of this. Okay. It's always fun wrestling with this kind of stuff and making sure that everything actually is on grain. There we go. Has anyone else binge watched Bridgerton? I love the costumes in that. They're not remotely historically accurate, but I don't think it's trying to be historically accurate. You know, they've got Billie Eilish songs being played by string quartets and stuff. I think it's a really interesting take on a Regency romance, and I love Regency romances. One of my favourite authors is Georgette Heyer. I would love somebody to do some Georgette Heyer recreations. They would be very fun. Okay, so trying to get this fabric on grain. Yvonne's here, says hi everyone, just to quickly say hello, off for Mother's Day lunch, catch up later, have fun. Very nice, Yvonne, enjoy yourself. Chris says hi, Sean and Peeps from Adelaide, good evening. Mum's not feeling overly brilliant today, unfortunately, so she's not gone to church. So Dad has just dropped off the cake that she'd made, because there's a bake sale, I think, of some kind today. And Mum made a cooked breakfast for everyone whilst he was out, which was very nice of her. So I've had bacon and eggs for breakfast. So you guys are actually in the way, and I'm trying to think where else I could put you so that I can actually cut this out. I think I'm going to have to put you over on the ironing board for a little while. I hope that's all right, because it seems very silly to have this giant cutting table and not use it. That's better. Must plug you in so you have power. God. Ugh. Brand new plugs. Didn't want to be used. So put this over here. Haven't thought this through because I need to iron the pattern pieces next. Never mind. Never mind. That can go down here. My giant roll of lino is in the way. So that can go there. Pull the table out a little bit. I love everything being on wheels. There we go. definitely need to put some, because this side's covered, but the other side is just still the raw wood, and might plucked my dress there. Whoops. This is why I wanted such a big table. This fabric must be 150 wide. I need to find out now. Yes, it's 150 wide. That's good. That's probably how I managed to get this giant dress and a top out of this length of fabric. I've nearly finished Scorpion. I'm like halfway through the 4th series. I'm so sad it kind of wasn't as popular because I'm really enjoying it. It is super light and fluffy. You know, it's not like hard hitting TV, but I kind of enjoy those. Like, there's a few kind of programs that I'll watch that are like properly kind of like hardcore, really serious dramas, but I tend to like fluffy entertainment. There's enough serious drama in the world without me adding it to my entertainment, as it were, kind of thing. So this is the Kiwi colorway of this fabric. It's actually looking really true to color on screen, which is good. So let's see, where did I get to with the chat? Yvonne says, oh, I've read that one. Carolyn says, always wondered why they haven't done a hair book for TV. I know. I really want them to do like Arabella, or the Grand Sophie would be a good one. Or Venetia. I love Venetia. Frederica. Yeah, I mean, so many of them. I think Arabella's my favorite. Oh, These Old Shades. That's my favorite. That is my favorite. Yes, they should do These Old Shades as a TV series. Oh my gosh. And it would be fine for it to be kind of like Bridgerton style, because I really enjoy the costumes in Bridgerton. I wish it had been another era, because I don't like Regency style dresses. They're kind of like Empire line and then no shaping from there. Although Mrs. Featherington, or Lady Featherington, has the most kind of shaping in her dresses. But yeah, I like, I mean, it's, you know, not remotely period accurate, but I just really love that they've gone that route, and it's all candy floss and, you know, those kind of sugary colors. I think it's just beautiful. So yeah. Suji says, I have no idea. Could you let me know what your name is? SSUIGH1, because I don't know how to pronounce that. She says, yep, but binge Bridgerton on Friday. I enjoyed it despite it being significantly less steamy. Yes. Oh, I did miss the Duke. I knew he wasn't going to be in it. I did miss the Duke though. Yeah. But I kind of like, I get it, because there's 8 Bridgerton children. So each series is going to concentrate on a particular child. And it made sense for Daphne to be the first season. Right. I'm going to iron my pattern pieces now. Yeah, so it definitely made sense to me for Daphne to be the first season. Right. So I don't want the collar and I don't want the sleeve. but I do want everything else. So many pieces for this pattern. So many pieces. And I've also got to cut out lining as well. Fun times. Totally worth it though, because this is definitely one of my favourite dresses. And I'm very much looking forward to having this green version to wear in the coming warmer months. It's been lovely down here this week, nice and warm. Many giant skirt pieces. So I've folded my fabric so it's on the cross grain, because the size of the skirt pieces mean that I can't cut it out from the fold, and I just instead cut it on the cross grain, which may be a bit lazy, but you can definitely, the sew along that I did for this pattern, because the fabric is, because the fabric was directional, I did cut it out on a single layer. But yeah, these are some giant skirt pieces. Whoopsie. Super giant skirt pieces. I mean, this is why this pattern is such a fabric hungry beast. But that's also why I love it. Let's catch up with the chat. Catch up with the chat. Let's see. Where did I get to? Trisha says, afternoon, Shine and Peeps. Sorry to hear your mum is feeling poorly. Hope she feels better soon. Thank you. Fingers crossed she will. She seems fine, just a bit. She just didn't want to risk going to church and making everyone else feel ill as well. Although she has taken a lateral flow test and it's come back negative. Leslie says, pretty fabric. It is very pretty. Trisha says, that fabric looks gorgeous. It looks lovely. The colours are gorgeous. Yeah, I really like this green one. I wanted to see it in person because it does come up very different on their website, but in person it is absolutely beautiful and very true to the Kiwi name. It is a very Kiwi colour. Danny's here. Hi, everyone. Artie Blade 4 says, greetings from Nashville. Hello, welcome. Wilhelmine says, have you ever tried The Good Witch? It's perfectly lovely and good feeling. Yeah, I watched like the first sort of half season of one and kind of nothing happened. And I prefer kind of action and drama. I just want it to be fluffy action and drama, if that kind of makes sense. Sort of like, I like the Marvel Avengers movies. I really, really enjoyed James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but James Gunn's Suicide Squad was gritty and gross and bloody and violent, whereas the Marvel ones, you know, they were PG. If there's a YouTube channel called Corridor Crew, who are CGI specialists, and they do every now and again, like if physics were real in Marvel movies, and so what would actually happen if Cap threw his shield at somebody? It wouldn't just bounce off their head, it would decapitate them, kind of thing. So they kind of correct what a Marvel scene should look like, and that's basically James Gunn Suicide Squad. The second one. The first one was, it wasn't good. But yeah. Ellen says, I watched it a long time ago, and if I remember, it ends on a cliffhanger. Oh no! I really hope it doesn't end on a giant cliffhanger. Oh no, I hate it when they do that. Oh. Rotten Ralph says, morning everyone from Central Florida. Good morning. Evie's here. Good morning everyone. Good morning. Mim73 says, hi, hope you're all well. Greetings from Frankfurt. Hello, welcome. Caroline says, the Reluctant Widow or the Unknown Ajax. Ooh, yeah. I suppose there's a bit more kind of like stuff going on in those than just romance. No, these old shades I think would be the best. Yeah. Nancy's here. Good morning from cold and dreary Toronto. Good morning, Nancy. Nice to see you. Natalie says, good morning all. Good morning. Trisha says, I love The Good Witch. I've watched it a few times. It's one I can have on when I'm doing things. I'll have to have a look through. Joe says, lol, my name is Joe. SSUJH1 was the very first email login at uni and has just stuck as a username. Okay. William says, the actor that played the Duke only wanted to be in a lead role. He could have showed up and do his parts in 14 Days of Work. Yeah. I mean, I've seen all the kind of things like that was going on around that. It's sad that he's not in it, but I get that the actor wanted to be a lead role because he was last time, and this time it was all about Anthony, wasn't it? So yeah. Joe says, I hope you make it to your cardigan. And Joe says, thanks to Rotten Ralph, building up the energy to walk 2 meters across the room, also trying to get the attention of my partner at the other end of the flat to get me a glass of water. I need a little bell. Olivia says, good morning from Iowa, 20 degrees Celsius, 26 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 3 degrees Celsius. And Mim73 says, I can recommend Nancy Drew. It's kind of supernatural-ish. Ooh, awesome. I do love a good bit of sci-fi. Giant pattern pieces. Definitely want these flat to wrangle them onto my fabric. I learned that from the Great British Sewing Bee, actually. They were doing, can't remember which season it was, but they were doing the Japanese skirt that had really odd shaped pattern pieces. And there was a lady kind of wrestling with this pattern piece, and it wouldn't behave and wouldn't do as she was telling it to, because she'd just unfolded it like this and then was trying to place it on her fabric. And Patrick was leaning over it talking, I think it was Esme, so it was one of the later ones. And he was just like, why isn't she eyeing that flat so it's not behaves itself? And it was like a little light bulb moment. It was like, oh, that's a good idea. Same for tracing. Woo! That's another reason this iron annoys me. Whoopsie. Okay, so is this my lining piece? Yeah, it's the skirt front lining. Oh. I have to swap everything around again. So you're going to go back on the ironing board, and then pattern pieces can go on Mum's table. That's better. Yes, here we go. giant pattern pieces. But honestly, I love this dress, so they're so worth it. Okay, so we need all the pieces that need to be cut on the fold. Now, technically, the back of this dress is meant to have a seam running through it. But I kind of eliminate that because I'm not a huge fan of a centre back seam if you don't need it, especially on a print that's this busy. So start pinning everything together. Well, pinning the pattern pieces to the and I am trying to take into account the placement of, oh, you can't even see me. Whoopsie. Turn you around. There we go. I am trying to take into account the placement of motifs for some of this. Like, for example, there's a big snaky butterfly thing going on there, but it will be sideways. So let's go for that one there. Yes. Get all these bits and pieces pinned into place. Christine says, hi from warm and sunny Lancashire coast, making my second shoulder dragon nearly finished. Oh, how lovely. What colours have you gone for? I need to make myself a shoulder dragon. Definitely want one. This lino is really in the way. We will, at some point, get to putting this on the tabletop. It would be really nice to get it done. But we need to level out the tabletop. I think I've told you guys when the MDF was ordered, they put it on a pallet and then they sent it, but they sent the wrong stuff. So it ended up sitting on a pallet for longer than it should have, and it warped slightly. And we didn't know that until we'd taken delivery of it. So the join down the center of the table, there's a little jog in it, so we need to try and even that out before we put the lino on it. And Dad wanted to do it a couple of weekends ago, but he wanted to do it on Sunday when his friend was coming over to help him out with that kind of stuff. And it was my first Sunday back after being in London. So I was doing a live hangout, and so the timing didn't work. So at some point we will get this table completely finished, and then I can do my sewing room tour. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Let's see. Olivia says, Sean, you look lovely in that dress. Truthfully, you look lovely in everything. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's because it's so warm and spring-like today, I thought I'd put on a kind of lighter dress. I don't wear this one very often because I don't really know what shoes to put with it. I've got grey tights on, which kind of works. And I have worn it with my grey knee-high or over-the-knee suede boots before, which also kind of works. But it's one of those ones where it's just like, I'm not 100% sure what to wear this with. So I don't tend to put it on very often. And it looks very spring-like as well, which, I don't know, maybe that's in my head. I'm just like, oh no, it looks too springy to wear in the dead of winter, even though it is a warm dress because it's a scuba dress. So yeah. Anessa says, good morning, and I agree about Nancy Drew being great. I shall have to look that up. Thank you. Christine says, number 1 was purple and mustard. This is Royal and Camel, both view C. They're going for my 2 grandsons in London, going down at Easter. They call me Granny who makes things. Oh, that's so cute. Lovely. Gin and Pin says, afternoon peeps. Glorious day here in Newcastle upon Tyne. Who else knew then forgot about the clocks today? You join me in the chores, then I'm heading out into the sunshine. Lovely, very nice. So snake is sideways. Do we have a let's have an upside down snake on the lower part of the back. There's his head. So I think with busy prints like this, you could drive yourself nuts trying to pattern match everything, and you would need a lot of fabric to properly pattern match across all of the seams. I didn't bother at all with my first 8577 because the first one I made for myself was in the black Cobra Corsage cotton lawn, and I love how that one turned out. I got really lucky with my Savannah dress, my Savannah 8577, because I just really didn't pay attention to the print placement at all. And I ended up with like a monstera leaf both sides of the front, and it looked like I'd done it on purpose, and it was a completely happy accident. Right. Just moving everything around today like constant musical chairs. We'll get there. It'll be fine. Dad very kindly got me some caffeine-free Coke. Which is delicious. Doesn't taste remotely like Coca-Cola at all. But if I have caffeine, we all know I go a bit loopy. And no one needs that. So no caffeine for me. Okay. See what else we can squeeze on here. So this needs to go to about there, which means I have a big space in there, which could be pocket band, or what else? One of my bigger pieces of pocket. Let's see if we can squeeze one of those in here. Oh, yes, if I move that down a little bit more. To there. Can I fit something in there then? Yes, I can fit in these. I can go in there. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And get that piece in there. Giant games of adult Tetris. Yeah, now that is this looks like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then we've just got this piece that needs to be cut out and fold. It's the back yoke. I haven't got enough fold left up there to do that though. So I'm going to carry on with this layout, I think. I think that's good. Whoop. Keep attacking the lino. Let's see. Sal says, good day, Sean and Peeps, love the dress, thank you. Elena says, I would wear that dress with the rose pink anklets. Rose pink anklets. Ankle boots? Ankle... Natalie says, oh, my rose boot, my little booties with the big rose motifs on the side. Ooh, possibly. I don't really like my calves, that's the trouble. I love those boots. I've only worn them once out on a date, actually, many moons ago. With jeans, and I really liked that outfit. Yeah. Natalie says, it's snowing in Toronto. Why is it snowing? Yeah, that's no good. How dare it snow? Bree says, hello from Western Australia. Peeps, Sean, your dress looks lovely with Ugg boots. Oh yeah, I've got my little fluffy socks on, my fluffy slipper socks. They've got a grip on them, so I like them on this floor. Olivia said to Natalie, I live in the Midwest. We are expecting snow next week. Hopefully it won't. Olivia says, Sean's dress is definitely sending spring vibes. Thank you. And Jane Pin says, I only really like Coke with vodka or Bacardi, so the amount of caffeine or sugar doesn't make much difference. See, I am so sensitive to caffeine. The only type of caffeine I now have is in whatever there is in chocolate. And I was very surprised when somebody told me that there was caffeine in chocolate, but apparently there is. So if I have like any caffeine, I'm up for days, like actual days, no exaggeration at all, which is quite depressing. So yeah, I like the caffeine-free Coke, although it does go flat very quickly. Carol's here. Good morning from New York City. Good morning. Carol says, silver or gold ballet flats. Yeah, but the trouble is, it's definitely not the kind of temperature where I don't have to have tights on. It's cold. I'm cold enough that I want my tights. So that is why... Sorry, concentration phase again. Yeah, it's cold enough that I want my tights. I think the grey tights with this look okay. I would love some green knee-high boots. I very nearly bought some from Joe Brown's. They had some beautiful lace-up. No, they weren't lace-up. That was the problem. Beautiful knee-high bottle green boots. Faux suede. And I was so close to buying them. But I have quite chunky calves, so I have to be careful about the size of the boot if I am buying knee-high boots. And Joe Brown's do put up a chart which tells you what the measurements are for the calf measurements of the different boots. And these green ones were 4 centimeters too small for my calves, which I was very sad about. Now I'm going to have the butterflies this way. Yeah, I was very sad about those because I would definitely wear this with green boots. I am looking at Fairfax and Favour because they do 3 calf widths and sort of specialise in making sure that the boots fit, but they are really expensive. And I think I'd want to try some of those on if I was going to invest that much money. I mean, those ones are actually real leather. The Joe Brown boots were faux leather, as I say. Both have their issues. But yeah, I'm going to move the dog bed out of the way because that's definitely in the way. I would definitely wear this with like knee-high green boots. Definitely. I think that would look really cute. But at the moment, I don't know if you can see, I've got grey tights and my fluffy slippers on. But as I say, this is definitely a sort of like winter spring dress because it is scuba. So it's definitely not something. Now if I move that over a little bit, then I could get this in here. Yes, let's do that. Which means that this can get moved up a little bit there. Straight with the grain. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get a shirt out of the remainder of this fabric as well as this dress. I have with most of the other lengths of fabric I've had and made 8577s out of. So I think it should be good. Gotta love a bit of Cobra Corsage. I'm hoping to get the last of it cut out today so that I can start on the sewing process tomorrow. I managed to get the Lezon trench coat, the Sorrento jacket, and a skirt out of the black cotton twill and Lena crepe. And I've still got a decent amount of Lena crepe left over as well. So that was good. But yes, I'm hopeful that I can get a shirt out of the leftovers of this as well. I think I should be able to. Let's see. Where do I get to? Junipin says we have sweet and wintry weather forecast later this week, which is why I want to make the most of today because I've been in work all week and extra yesterday. Oh wow, yes. If it's a nice day, definitely make the most of it. Definitely make the most of it. And then it says yes, ankle high boots or heels. Yeah, I like all my bright ones of these dresses. I really, really do like wearing with ballet flats or boots. But the trouble is that I just think they look a bit weird with dark coloured tights, as this Lauren has christened them nun tights. But it's too cold not to wear them. I get so many comments on my tights that are like, "Oh, you really shouldn't have that on. It ruins the rest of the look of the dress." And it's just like, but I don't want to wear sheer tights because they are not warm enough. They're not thick enough. I want warmth. That's why I'm wearing tights. So yeah. Anessa says, yeah, snow stucks. Tuesday overnight to Wednesday afternoon, we've got 40 to 50 centimetres. Wow. Marie says, good day from Long Island, New York. Good day. Carol says, maybe you need ivory tights. I did actually have some ivory tights. And I didn't mind wearing those, but that was when my legs were a lot slimmer. Maybe. Olivia says to Anessa, yikes to the snow, and then says, I think I got here too late to know what you're cutting out. It's an 8577, because of course it is. Sal says, I live in Australia. The only way snow is a problem if you purposefully go there to the few places it snows, so it's your fault, lol. Caroline says, or pink ballet tights would look good. Possibly. Yeah, I need to experiment a little bit, I think. And then it says, about expensive boots, check American Duchess boots. They make them and fit all the calves. Yes, I would like the American Duchess boots. And oh my gosh, if I had unlimited amounts of money, I'd have all of their shoes because I love them. The only trouble is their boots kind of go mid-calf. They don't go all the way up to the knee, which is period accurate, obviously. But I prefer boots that go all the way up to the bottom of my knee, at least. If not, I prefer over the knee boots. I just think that the ones that come up to mid calf, like the American Duchess ones do, are not as great on me as other types. I do. They've just released a silver and blue pair of their boots, and oh my goodness, I have nothing to wear those with, but I want them. It's a good job I'm not rich, really, because I just keep needing to extend my house for all of the fabric and clothes and shoes and handbags that I buy. Gin and Pin says, I think snag tights do some in nude tones, which would work with ballet shoes. I love snag tights. They don't do the nude tones over 50 denier, and I've not tried those ones. I've only got the 80 denier ones. So I need to experiment, basically, but maybe not this year because we're coming into the warmer weather now. Johanna says, good morning. Somehow my body knows caffeine is bad for me because I have never enjoyed coffee or cola. I've never had a coffee in my life. I don't like the smell. It just really doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. I absolutely love sugary drinks though, which is really bad. And I mean, this one is sugar-free, but then you've got all the stuff that goes on with the sweetener, like aspartame and things like that. So yeah. Danny says, can anyone suggest a good denim jacket pattern, not big four, as I'm scared of them, please? I got some amazing cotton drill in lilac and orange print, and it's destined to be a denim jacket. The Sorrento jacket is amazing, Danny. I know you have to buy the entire ebook, and it's 30 quid, which is a lot of money, but I do really like all the patterns that came with the ebook. Oh, So Over It have a discount code at the moment. There's summer discount. I don't know if it's on patterns as well in their ebooks, but I think it might be. But yeah, the Sorrento, it's really, really, really well written. It's really cleverly written, because they'll have you constructing it in a way that you're not having to change over between construction and top stitching too often. And if you want to, I've also done like a companion piece where you can line your Sorrento jacket. Other than that, I really like Gertie's one for Butterick, but I don't know if that's available anymore. And you did say no big four. Olivia says to Sal, lol, about the Australia snow comment. Natalie says, I always scold my mum for immigrating to Canada instead of Australia since her brother went there, lol. Oh, wow, yeah. Ree says to Danny, my husband sewed me up a Sorrento jacket by Sew Over It and it came up wonderful. He used retro cord, but it's a denim jacket pattern. Yes. Bethany says, hi, Peeps. Hi, Bethany. Olivia says, Sean, 8577, should have known. Yeah. You should have, really. And Olivia says, give a thumbs up, everybody. Yes, please. Thumbs up to the stream would be very much appreciated. Carmen says, good morning, Peeps. Been watching on my TV, but had to grab my phone to say hello. Hello, Carmen. Welcome. Gin and Pin says, I've also found a cure for my lack of sojo this week. I booked tickets for loads of events and now realise I need new clothes to wear for them. Planning a tracing out session this evening. Oh, very nice. Rachel Lynn says, if you have nothing to wear with the boots, new clothes. Yeah, those silver and blue American Duchess boots, oh my gosh, they are gorgeous. I like all of them because they do them with green and black, red and black, and then black on black because the insect velvet, I want all of them. Kenzie says, hello from Iowa. Today is my birthday, 27 on the 27th. When my family asked what I wanted, I said, can I have expensive fabric from England? So I'm getting 3 Lady McElroys from Minerva and 2 from Mood. Oh, how exciting. What Lady McElroys did you go for? Danny says to Brie, thank you, about the Sorrento jacket comment. Natalie says, happy birthday. Yes, of course, happy birthday, Kenzie. Sorry, I got distracted by the fact that you're getting fabric and completely blew past the fact that it's your birthday. Jenny Pin says, happy birthday to Kenzie. Carol says, Sew Over It, 20% ends today, includes patterns. Thank you, Carol. Olivia says to Kenzie, happiest of birthday wishes to you. Danny says, thanks, Sean. I'll have a look for the discount. And like Carol says, it's still on for today, 20% off. So it might be a lot of money to spend on the one pattern, but honestly, it's really brilliantly done. Joanna says, I don't like the smell of coffee either. People always think it's strange when I say that. No, I've never had a coffee in my life because it just doesn't smell appealing. So yeah. Laura says, good visiting with everyone. Got to run errands now. Thank you for joining us, Laura. Kathy says, good morning, Sean and Peeps from chilly Pennsylvania. Good morning, Kathy. Olivia says to Kenzie, it's 27 degrees in my part of Iowa. Now I blame you, 27 on 27 and 27 degrees. And Danny says, thanks, Kate E. I will check them out. Did I miss one out? Oh, Kate E says, read denim jacket patterns. I can massively recommend the Athens jacket from Itch to Stitch, which also comes with sewing cup sizes from A to double D. Nice. Right, let's get some more pinning done. I didn't expect that I would get all of my cutting out done today, but I would like to get at least one thing completely done. We all know what I'm like when I'm chatting to you lot. The only trouble with the paper on the top of this cutting table is that when I'm pinning, I have to be really careful to go through just the fabric and not the paper underneath, which is not the easiest of things, especially as I've kind of got the paper a little bit bubbled up in that corner, which was annoying. Never mind. So, there we go. Right. I'm going to pull the table out a little bit more so that I can get to the other side to pin those pieces in place. I love this table. I love this table. So I'm cutting the back panel on the cross grain, so I'm going to cut the front panel on the cross grain as well. And I'm trying to just make sure it's going to end up with giant flower boob however I go. That's going to be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. You just actually, I am not going to put that piece there because I would end up with seriously giant flower boob, and we don't want that. So I'm going to put it a little bit further down. So I'll put my pocket band here, and I need 4 of these. Keeping up with the chat today, it's not doing too badly. Sal says, you, chatty, never. Yeah, exactly, Sal. I mean, what am I talking about? That never happens. Carmen says, there is no way we could possibly be distracting. Flashback. Oh, look, I managed to sew a ruffle. Yes, one whole ruffle in like 5 hours. Was that 6 hours or 5 hours for that one? We did have a lot of fun with the fabric though, didn't we? I can't wait for you guys to see which collection I've decided to do next. I have filmed it. I just need to edit it, and hopefully that video will be coming out on Saturday next week. I'm going to try and do better with my Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. So the idea is I'm going to do, let's see, I'm just going to grab my pencil and my ruler. So yeah, the idea is we're going to do waffles on the Tuesday and Thursday, because lots of people wanted me to keep the waffles, which is really cool. Because the waffles are probably the easiest videos to film, except if I add in all the voiceovers. What other piece could I put on there? If I put that on the table. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually not going to put my bodice piece on the cross grain. I'm being very naughty, and I'm putting my back bodice piece on the cross grain and my front bodice piece on the straight up grain. But it's going to give me better motif placement, I think, because I do want to be mindful of that. How can we get this snake on best? I don't want, let's see. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's see, where did I get to? Vanessa says, Shan, I opened the live this morning and saw the pattern piece and did a little happy dance for the new 8577. Ah, yay! I love wearing this dress so much. I nearly put one on this morning. I'd put on a white t-shirt and I nearly put on the 8577 from the Amaryllis print that I made. It was a birthday present from Alex and her chubby 2 years ago. So I nearly put that one on. But I need to move to where the buttons are because that one is a little bit tight on me still. But if I move the buttons over a little bit, it'll be fine. Okay. Right. Oh, itchy eyeball. Itchy eyeball. Then that piece can go there. And then we can get these all cut out. And move on to the next. I think I've just pinned through the table. Like I said, I need to try and avoid, but never mind. So this piece that I'm doing now, technically I could cut that out of lining. And in fact, I'm going to cut that out of lining because it won't get seen. And that's quite a large piece to sacrifice to fabric when I want to get a top out of it as well. So put that in my things that need to be cut out of lining pile. So we're done. So now I can start cutting all of these pieces out. Scissors. You've got the scissors. Okay. So Kathy says, what pattern is the dress you're wearing? It's gorgeous. It's the 8972. And the one that I make all the scuba dresses out of. Olivia says, I love the cutting table. I wanted wheels on mine. My husband, who did all the work, gave me the side eye. I didn't get wheels. I'm so glad that I've got wheels. I mean, this wouldn't work with, this whole room wouldn't work if everything wasn't on wheels, because we've literally covered every single wall in storage. So everything in the center of the room has to move around so that you can get to everything. I mean, if we'd had sort of like another, if it had been 2 meters bigger each way, then it would be perfect and we wouldn't have to choose between which configuration we could have it cut out, you know, have it all in. But we're just under 5 meters square. So, you know, it's a pretty big room down here. Natalie says, the citrus collection, you'll have to wait and see until Saturday. The video will be coming out on Saturday. Olivia says, lol at Carmen about the sewing of the ruffle. Elena says, sorry everyone, I have to go, but if everything goes well, I'll be back in 1.5 hours. I hope you have a nice time, Elena. Maybe we'll see you later. Evie says to Kinsey, it's your birthday. It's your golden birthday. Happy birthday. No. Yeah, mine was my first birthday because I was born on the 1st of May. Anna says, hey, how are you? Very well, thank you, Anna. How are you? Anna, I know you're struggling with emails and Facebook and stuff. I've sent you a couple of emails and I've sent you a Facebook invitation to the sewing retreat. Can you remind me which is the best way to get hold of you? So because you haven't responded to any of my emails. You didn't need to, but I just I know you're struggling with communication at the moment, so let me know which is the best way to get hold of you so that I can let you know what's going on. But there is a Facebook group for the sewing retreat. It's been created. I've invited everybody. Most of you have joined, but I don't think you have, Anna, so I don't know if you've got Facebook at the moment. Evie says, had to step away for a shower and a coffee. What are we working on today? The 8577 in the Cobra Corsage Kiwi colour. Nancy says, time to start my day. Have a lovely hangout. Thank you for joining us, Nancy. It was nice to see you. Natalie says, the 8577. Evie says, thanks. Kenzie says, thank you for the birthday wishes. Macaw Safari, Paradise Chalk, Savannah Visco's Crepe Knit, pink and white background, flamingos. Nice. Nice choices there. I don't have the Macaw Safari, but I have everything else. Leslie says, nude pair of shoes and dainty necklace for the dress you have on. Ooh, now you're making me want a pair of nude knee-high boots. See, tan boots would look really nice with this. Oh, I need to remember to be careful. This side of this is not good for my dress, and I am making pulls in it. Oh, no, I need to be careful. Gillian says, love the way you did all in one facing on the last video and had a light bulb moment. I'm going to make 3 Vogue 8146 dresses, and since I will fully line them, I don't need to trace the facings. Ah, nice. Box 3D says, hello peeps. Hello, welcome. Udi Pale says, have you ever used the roller instead of scissors? I tried it yesterday, made a mess. My size 4 is now a size 0000. Yeah, I have rotary cutters. I use them for quilting. I don't like, and to be fair, I use my scissors more often than not with that as well. I don't like them for cutting out this kind of stuff because we'd need to have a cutting mat that's the size of this table, which so many people kept telling me I should put on top of this. And it's like, yes, I appreciate that that's what you would do, but I don't want a giant cutting mat on the top of this table because they do, when you use a rotary cutter on them, they do get furrows in them, even the self-healing ones. And I don't want something that's going to snag on my fabric, which they will do eventually. And we have A0 cutting mats that we use, but I don't like cutting out clothes with a rotary cutter. I much prefer scissors. And that's just because that's how I've always done it. It's my preference. I've tried a rotary cutter twice and absolutely hated it. So no. Stephanie says, good morning from chilly New Hampshire, USA. Good morning. Box 3D says, I 99% only use rotary cutter. I pin as I cut with a roller to keep stuff in place. No, you see, this is the thing. It's like there's no wrong answer. Like whatever works for you. But for me, scissors. And these are the Kai shears that I bang on about every single time. Fabulous gift from KK. Thank you so much. Linda says, hello peeps. Sorry a bit late to the party. Lovely fabric on the table. Yes. It's Cobra Corsage, so yeah. Anna says, struggling with communication, story of my life. Yes, as I mentioned at the Gold Hawk Road, my channel email I had checked when I heard recently from another about emails. Nothing was there. Yeah, I haven't emailed your channel email. I emailed the one that I have on record for you that's on the sheet from the retreat that was supposed to happen in 2020. So no, I haven't emailed you to that one, sorry. I have messaged you on Facebook, like I say, but I don't know if you have access to that either. So I will try and have a look for your channel email so that I can send the things to that. It's nothing to worry about. There's nothing that you needed to do. It was just to let you know that you were booked in. So, and I've managed to get you into Lalcoombe as well, because I know you wanted to be in Lalcoombe. So my first cut. So I bought another 5 meters of white cotton lawn for the lining for this. Oh, I need to pin this one into place. Or at least start pinning some of this into place. I always like the sound that fabric scissors make as well when you're cutting out. Kind of, sort of sounds like people walking through crunchy snow. It's what it makes me think of. Ow. Don't stick pins into your fingers. I'm a walking disaster. Okay. Okay, so that's a little bit of that pin. So let's get some more bits cut out. There's holes in the paper on the table as well from, dragging too heavy things across it and tearing the paper and stuff. Cannot wait until we get the proper top on this. Like I say, that's the only thing I'm waiting for to do like a sewing room tour as well. Is getting this table properly finished. I'm so looking forward to how this dress comes out. I think it's going to be really pretty. Well, I mean, I know it's going to be really pretty because I've already got one in black. But as we've discussed, I am one of those people that if I find something that I like, I will buy it in every colour, which is why I want all of the American Duchess shoes. Giant skirt. So I know lots of things say that you should cut with the pattern piece on the other side of the scissors, and that I'm doing it totally wrong here, but I find to get a much cleaner line if I cut it this way out. So again, as I've said many times, there aren't any wrong answers in sewing. You just experiment until you find what works for you, and then keep doing that. Because if it works for you, then it's the right thing. How are we doing with the chat? You're all chatting away? Let's see. Where did we get to? Ralph says, I fight with my rotary cutter. I'm still learning how to do turns. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I do so well with my scissors that I don't want to bother to try and make myself better with rotary cutter. I don't want the trial and error of it. But again, that's not to say that it's the wrong thing. It's just to say that it's my thing. Anna says, only recently got Facebook back. Again, not received anything. Things might be getting lost through all the backlog, maybe. I only did it yesterday. I'll try and send the thing again. Evie says, rotary cutter has been easy for me, but good grief, the mat is so jagged that everything snags on it and it's now a problem. I pressed down far too hard when I first learning though. You can soak your mat in warm water and I think that helps it recover. But that is my reason for not wanting to cover the top of this in a cutting mat, because I just don't want it to get damaged and then snag, because we do everything from quilting in this room to sewing with fine silk. So, I need it to be multifunctional, and the lino will be. Right. I need a tissue because my hay fever is kicking in and my tissue box is completely empty. So I'm going to go up to the main house and grab a tissue. I'm also going to grab one of Mum's cupcakes if she will let me have one. And I will be back down. So talk amongst yourselves. You can't see the mannequin or the chair, so don't move anything. Behave yourselves. Do not rearrange my scissors. I will be back momentarily. Oh, I wonder if... No, I can't take that because you won't hear. I was going to say I'll take the chat with me and I'll carry on chatting, but you won't be able to hear me, will you? Oh dear, I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. Did you behave yourselves? Oh, I should have taken up my dirty plate, shouldn't I? Never mind. Do that next time. Right. Ugh. Hay fever sucks. Right, let's catch up with the chat and then carry on cutting out some of these bits and pieces. Let's see. Evie says sewing ASMR. Yeah, the sound of fabric shears is just awesome, isn't it? Carmen says shears, cutting fabric, listening to the song of my people. One of my favorite ASMR sounds. Ron Ralph says my rheumatologist has recommended that I switch to a rotary cutter because of the amount of fabric I need to do. Definitely practice makes perfect then. Olivia says I tried rotary before. I prefer scissors. Yes, Sean, I love the sound of scissors cutting. Anna says, oh my gosh, thank you, Larcoon, that's awesome. I was only thinking about that the other day and almost sent you an Instagram message. Been suffering with bad health, story of my life as well. Yeah, the email you used has been out of action for 18 months or more. Yeah, I'm sorry you weren't definitely going to be in there, Anna, but as I say, it had to be first come, first served. And I just, because I'm condensing down the two retreats into one, but I have managed to put you in a single room in Larcoon. Rotten Ralph says the sounds of shears cutting is music to my ears. So Boho says, hi peeps, this is my first post. Just bought some of the Kiwi Cobra Corsage. Does anyone else think it looks like one of the Gucci fabrics? Definitely. I definitely think it was inspired by Gucci, 100%. Definitely. Leslie says, and sewing machine ASMR, so soothing. Unless they sew over something that they really don't want to, and then it's like, ooh, that's a bad noise. Gin and Pin says, I only use my rotary cutter to straighten edges out or straight lines with my ruler.
which has some suspicious lines etched into it now. Scissors, safer with my cats around helping me. Yeah, I tried rotary cutter with my French curve, my plastic French curve, and it ended up with a cut in the French curve. I just don't like rotary cutters. They just don't work for me. But again, that is just my personal preference. Ralph says, my 3 cats have invaded my room. It's a very lovely prison day. Oh, I nearly brought Chiana down with me today, but she would probably have sat herself right in the middle of the table, which would not have been helpful. Box 3D says, I'm in Portugal and they are produced here. Can I get a country discount? You should do, shouldn't you? Anna says, that's good. Such a satisfying, good sound, good sharp scissors. Yeah, and I've had these for, since 2019, and I haven't had them sharpened once yet. They are brilliant. Ron Ralph says, however, the lines are clean is your correct answer. Yes, exactly. Whatever works for you. UD Pal says, what type of paper do you use for tracing your patterns? I get mine from Moreplan. I buy it on a 300 meter roll. It costs about £75, but they last me around about 3 to 4 years. But obviously not everybody is going to need that much paper for that long. Depends how many patterns you trace. I obviously do quite a lot, so it works really well for me. Natalie says to Rotten Ralph, a smaller rotary blade might help with the curves. Awkward Evie says, I'll try soaking it today. I don't imagine soaking a mat that big would be easy either. No. Mum and Dad, when they lived in Saudi Arabia, they had a swimming pool. So Mum used to soak her mats in the swimming pool, which worked brilliantly. But it's not an option here. Lisa 101 Lisa says, morning peeps. Good morning. Rotten Ralph says, thank you, Natalie. I wondered about that. Linda says, you won't remember this, Sean, but back in the day when you got on a bus, there was a conductor who had a leather pouch and a machine to turn out your ticket. Oh, I love the sound of the leather pouch. Michelle says, morning peeps from sunny Bermuda. Sean, I love every dress you wear. This week's is stunning. Oh, thank you so much. UD Powell says to Vox 3D, what type of rollers do you recommend? Probably got the wrong one. Lisa Stewart says, good evening from Australia. Good evening. Rotten Ralph says, I need more alphanumeric paper for patterns. I don't want to get attached to the Swedish tracing paper. Oh gosh, if I had the money, I would buy Swedish tracing paper, but it's £1.50 per metre, and this stuff works out at 0.3p of a metre. So yeah. Let's see. So Boho says, it's scissors for me. I managed to sever a nerve in my finger cutting cheese with a knife, so the potential of carnage of a rotary cutter is not worth the risk. Ouchie. Yeah, I think Angela Clayton answers this question a lot as well, because so many people are just like, you should be using a rotary cutter. And she's like, no, I've already lost the feeling in 2 fingers because of a stitch ripper incident. It's just like, oh, you could really damage yourself. Don't do that. Denim Pin says, I feel for you with the hay fever. Mine's 2 tree pollen and it's really bad this year. I have to keep telling people I don't have COVID. Yeah. Yeah. Stephanie P says to Gin and Pins, same with my kids. My son has bad allergies and always has a sniffy nose. Yeah. Yeah. We've got like pretty like trees coming into bloom and stuff, but yeah. Yudi says, I have a 28 centimetre and a smaller one, mostly due to curves. I recommend a small one. Anessa says, Sean, did you ever email Lady McElroy about the Peeps wanting a dragon fabric? I didn't. I need to talk to Raymond about that, actually. Yes. And Vox 3D says, the smaller is easier for small curves. Yeah, I have a variety of sizes of rotary cutter. Let's see. My tools that never get used. So I've got a 45mm one with pinking shears on it. Basically, it's a pinking blade. I've got a 28mm tiny little one. I have got another 45mm regular one, and then I've got a 16mm one. And I really like this one because it's got like the safety catch on it. And then so you can't accidentally leave out the blade and you squeeze the blade to do it. This one, you kind of have to retract the protection, so that, yeah. And same with this one, and then the little one is the push one as well. But I only ever use these when I'm cutting out stuff for quilting, and I haven't done a quilt in years. Oh well, no, I did a quilt last December, didn't I? December 2020. Right. Let's continue with cutting out some pieces. I am really excited about this dress. I think it's going to be very pretty. So okay. I'm still thinking about making like a plain one of these with then some, and then putting the collar on it, but using different embroidery to make the collar look fancy. I think that would be really, really cool. I've never made this with the collar though. I want to make it so that the collar is detachable, and the actual collar that comes with this dress, because of the way it's constructed, I don't think that would work. I think I would need to draft a new type of collar using the original one as inspiration and kind of like the general gist of the shape that I'd need. But I don't think the collar that comes with this pattern would work for the type of thing that I want, because like I say, I want it to be removable, because I want to do a plain black dress but then be able to put on a collar with bees embroidered on it, for example, or put on a white collar with like a lipstick print embroidered on it. And I've seen those dresses and I've pinned those dresses in the past from designers, and I really like them, but I just think that a black dress with a white collar with a red lipstick mark on the white collar is a very specific look. But if I made the collar so it was detachable, so that I could put different motifs on or wear it without, I think that would be really versatile. It's one of those ones that's kind of like been percolating in the back of my mind for a while, but I've not quite got round to working out the logistics of it yet. Okay. Let's see, where did I get to with the chart? Let's see. Bree says, how are the fat pigeons today? I haven't seen them. We're not being invaded today. I haven't seen them at all, actually, which makes me think they're plotting something. Rachel says, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, Rachel. Are you all prepped for your hangout later? I'm very much looking forward to it. So Boho says, Lady McElroy have Oriental Dragon on black background in the cotton lawn. Ooh. Need to have a proper look at that. Yeah, I wonder if I can talk them into letting me design a print with them. Leafy dragons. That would be very cool. Fox 3D says, my rotaries look exactly like yours. Carol says, I only use rotary cutters for cutting bras. The pieces are small. My 28mm is a medium cutter, is my medium cutter. Oh, wow. Then you got a really tiny one. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. I see Evie Leleuve using rotary cutters for hers as well. Maybe I ought to try that right from the get-go when I start bra making. Yes. And Fox3D says, what have you peeps been sewing? I'm giving my first try at corsets, not historically accurate. Ooh, fun. Michelle says, I've avoided searching out the Lady McElroy fabric because I cannot be trusted to not spend the entire bank if I find a vendor who will ship to me in Bermuda. Just not just putting it out there, Michelle, but like I'll ship anywhere in the world. When I do get Lady McElroy in, you guys will have to let me know if there's a particular print or something that you want for you people who are outside of like its usual shipping areas. Kathy says, off to church. Hope to be back before you are done. Nice to see you, Kathy. Thank you for joining us. Stephanie says to Vox3D, I finished the Sew Over It Rosie dress and a Godo skirt yesterday. The corset sounds interesting. Stephanie says, by hand London and a dress is next on my to-do pile. As we know, I like that dress. Marie says, hello everyone from Brisbane, Australia. How are we all doing today? Good evening. Very well, thank you. How are you? Yudi says, thanks, Fox3G. I will try it again. Mine is the biggest one. I thought the bigger the faster. True. Bree says, a detachable collar sounds great. Yeah, I need to pull my finger out and actually work out the logistics of how that would work, don't I? So Boho says, I'm about to try the So La Di Da Vintage Muse dress. Has anyone else tried that one? Not yet. I do have the pattern. I have all the So La Di Da patterns apart from one, I think. And yeah, I really want to get to them. Gin and Pin says, I got a 45 rotary cutter with straight and pinking blades as a free gift from the sewing quarter before it closed and haven't ever even opened it. Oh, wow. Rachel says, yes, more or less, I think so. Just about to start on some dungarees for now. Very nice. Michelle says, ooh, leafy dragons. Yes, please. Yeah, can you imagine, like, if it was something like Savannah, but instead of hummingbirds, it had little, like, Oriental-style dragons. Ooh. Chinese-style dragons. Sorry, Oriental is not a correct word, is it? Noelia says, hi, peeps. Hope you're okay. Got caught out by the change of time. Yeah. We're all lucky that was here at midday rather than 1. Artie Blade says, my husband is awake now, so I'm off to hang out with him. See you all next time. Thank you for joining us. It was very nice to see you. Right, so let me get the rest of this skirt panel cut out. So with my 8577s, as you will see on the sew along, I actually cheat a little bit with my seams, and I pink them because it is fully lined, and I've not had any problems with any of the ones that I've made. I mean, as I've also mentioned, I don't wash my clothes frequently. I don't wash them after every wear unless they really need it. But yeah, I pink the seams of this skirt rather than French seam them, which has, like I say, worked really well for all of the ones that I've made, because I have made a lot of this dress. Right, so I've completely cut out this back panel, and I need to cut it out again of lining, so I'm going to put it on the lining pile. And then we can put the actual piece on the to sew pile. Which is there. And then I'm going to have a drink. Mum's out walking the dog. I don't know if I told you. So I've asked if I may have a cup. Dad to ask her if I may have a cupcake when she comes back. Yum. Right, now I've got some space. I can finish out cutting out this one. Oh, I've forgotten your name. It's KY Traveling Nurse. Kentucky Traveling Nurse, is that right? Just waking up, but was going to put on, just waking up, but I was put on call at work, so we'll be going in a couple of hours later. Well, it's nice to see you. Marissa says, hi Mari, we are practically neighbours. Hi Peeps from Brisbane as well. I'm cutting out a Bakerloo dress tonight. Ooh, very nice. So Boho says, I love fabric with bugs and snakes and dragons. Yes, I'm a bit weird, but I don't care. No, same here. Stephanie, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for reminding me. Did I get it right with Kentucky? Wow. Anessa says, I'm still too mad to make the 8577s, lol. I did 3 muslins and almost had it fitted right, and then got sick and accidentally lost 7 inches in the waist and hips. Grr. Oh no. If you do go back to it, it will be worth it. Rotten Ralph says, I'm supposed to be finishing an apron house dress, but I can't reach it from underneath the cats. You're trapped under a cat, that's fine. It's perfectly reasonable. Christine says, a little advice, please. I have some Armani stretch satin from Minerva. It's polyester. It's beautiful but fine. Could I line it with cotton lawn? It depends. It depends what you want to do with it. So for me, if I was making a bodice like this one, for example, I would line the bodice with cotton lawn because I'd want it to be a little bit more structured, but then I would line it with something different for the skirt so that it was floaty. It's like I say, it really depends what you're going to make with it. If you line it with cotton lawn, the bodice will take on the properties of cotton lawn rather than the sort of like very fine satin. If you want it to still be floopy and drapey and you're doing something like that, then you're going to want to line it with the same type of satiny liquid fabric. So yeah, that's kind of like the rule of thumb, is that you need to think about what you want your fabric to end up looking like. Like I made the Vogue 9327 dress, the one with the high neck and then the kind of like weird open sleeves. And I purposefully lined the bodice of that with cotton lawn because I was making it out of a viscose fabric, which is really drapey and floopy. And that bodice wouldn't have needed a little bit of structure in it. So I kind of interlined the floopy fabric to make it more structured to work with the pattern that I was using. I hope that makes sense. Right, now we need to put the notches in here. The notches on this one are very important. This is the pocket band. Very important notches. So I need to cut another one of these out. Put that back there, and then this can go over here. I was cutting out the Lezon trench coat the other day, and I cut out the little squares for the band buttonholes, and I needed 7 of them, or maybe slightly more because I've lengthened it. And I had a complete kind of like brain fuzz, and sort of I'd taken the pattern piece off to then cut another set of the little squares out, and I threw the original squares away, so I ended up having to cut out twice as many as I needed because I put them, and I couldn't be bothered to go through the scrap bag to try and find exactly what had gone where. Let's see. Nessa says, oh, I will go back to it. Lol, I've got 3 fabrics waiting. Nice. Just in a timeout for now with the 8577. Christine says, I will be doing the Sew Over It Giselle top with full circle skirt. I don't know what the Giselle top looks like. It depends how much body you want in your skirt, because if you line it with cotton lawn, it's going to be slightly stiffer. So yeah, would you want it really fluid and drapey? Because if so, line it with something similar. If you want it to have a little bit more structure, I can't remember what the Giselle bodice looks like for the Sew Over It one. But if it's like a fitted bodice, then you can totally get away with lining it with cotton lawn. And that's probably what I would actually do. Carmen says, dragons, yes please, and cranes, lol. Oh, I do have some of their crane fabric. Now, what's it called? Rushland herons, so not cranes, herons. But yeah, they should do more of that because it's really nice. Mary says, hi Marissa, I'm probably our neighbours, just started raining here. Stephanie says to Christine, that sounds lovely. And Nimue says, hello everyone, bit late today as our schedule got messed up by daylight savings time. Sigh. And don't forget to like the stream, Peeps. Yes, please. And Joe says, I bought the by hand London Anna when it first came out, made 3 bodices and couldn't get it to fit, so gave up. Just bought the bigger size range and I'm going to try again. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I tried making it for Mum, and Mum kind of needed a hollow chest adjustment, and it didn't quite work as well for her as it did for me, which was sad, but it's just one of those things. Like, I think some people end up with patterns fitting them right out of the pack. Well, not immediately out of the packet, but with very minor alterations. And once you've found that pattern company that really truly drafts for your sort of body type, then just buy all the patterns and make all the things. Okay. This is slightly an awkward angle here, but we're getting there. We are getting there. There we go. So that's that skirt piece 100% cut out. Christine says, thanks, yes, I think I will do that. Cotton for the top and floaty for the skirt. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I really like how my 9327 turned out with the interlining in cotton lawn under the viscose, because it just gave it that extra little bit of structure that I think it needed. I was very pleased with that dress. I do think I'm going to try and put a patch in underneath those sleeve openings. I'm really glad I tried them, and I do like the sleeve with the really long deep cuff. We're talking about one of the navy dresses I did. But I think what I will do is redraft the sleeve so it doesn't have the opening, and like I say, try and find some navy fabric that goes well enough that I can put a little patch in underneath. Because whilst I like it with the t-shirt, the long sleeve t-shirt underneath, it would be nice to not have to wear it like that, but it's it's not the end of the world. Okay, so that one I folded up with the pattern piece because the words are hard, because that pattern piece I don't need to cut lining out of because it's got the piece missing for the pocket, and there's a separate pattern piece for the lining, which is down there. I can concentrate today. Honest go. Anessa says, I struggle with needing to do 1 inch petite adjustment on pretty much everything, or at least on all tops. Yeah, and you want to try and make sure that that also looks proportionate. So yeah, I feel you for that. Okay. Put in all of my notches. And then I need to cut this out of lining as well. So I'll take this pattern piece off. So that can go in the lining pile. That can go in the pieces cut out pile. And they can go in there. Right. We are getting there slowly but surely. It's always a little bit slow because I waffle so much. Let's see. So Boho says, I'm bigger than a dressmaking B cup and was wondering if anyone else has to do a full bust adjustment for big 4 patterns. Sometimes I do, yes, not all the time. I'm quite lucky. I kind of fit into their just at the top of their B range, sometimes C range. I will sometimes do a D cup if they have the cup sizes, depending on what the finished garment measurements are. I really like cashmerette for full bust adjustments. Right. So because I'm taking these pattern pieces off, I'm marking my pattern pieces. I don't really need to worry about it too much because this is obviously the back because it's cut on the fold, but I've put a little, for me, orange means back, and this is the top of the pattern piece and this is the bottom of the pattern piece. Obviously I could lay the pattern piece back over the cut out ones, but it's just my way of doing it. When I did the sew along, I actually wrote out little post-it notes, little labels, so that nothing got confused, which was also a great way of doing it, but I don't need to do that. So I just use my little pin method, which works really well for me. Vanessa says that she has to add it to take off at least 1 inch for all tops. Carol says to Joe, the Anna seems to be very Marmite. It either works or it doesn't. Yeah, I've seen some people have to do some seriously like labor intensive alterations to the Anna dress to get it to fit them the way that they wanted it to. I'm really, really lucky that it fits me the way it does, as easily as it does, because it was the first dress that I kind of made when I got back into dressmaking, and I can imagine that if it hadn't have looked as good on me as easily as it did, I could have gotten really disheartened and we might not even be here. Might be doing something very different. Just marking in my dots because I need to cut this piece out of lining as well. Get the dots in. Got iron my lining fabric. Fun times. Fun times. You definitely can get away with just lining the bodice of this dress if you don't want to line the entire thing. I just really like the extra floof it gives to the skirt. I'm a floofy kind of girl. Carol says to sew boho, absolutely, except when they do a cup size pattern. That's with a full bust adjustment on the big fours. Junimpin says, I'm going to put my living room into sewing mode later. I have some sweatshirt fabric left over from a dress I cut out. I might go ahead and cut some shorts out of it and sew them at the same time. Very nice. Stephanie says, is laughing to Carol about the by hand London Anna comment being Marmite. Totally. Caroline says, Mark bought me the cashmere book that has all the adjustment details in it. I got that present very right. Nice. And Joe says, I wanted to make and wear by hand London Anna to my brother-in-law's wedding. Their youngest is now 6. I will conquer my nemesis. You will. Eliza says good morning. Good morning. Cutting my pocket facings. Well, no, these are side fronts, sorry. There we go. So this is cotton lawn fabric, and it's quite stable. So I'm completely unpinning my pattern pieces from the fabric and putting them in my piles just so that I don't run out of pins. That's another way I get away with doing giant cutting out sessions, is by doing it that way. But you do want to bear in mind that if you have like a more floopy fabric that needs to be stay stitched around the neckline and such, then you might not want to take the pins out of your pattern piece around the neck on pieces that have got bias in them, because you don't want your bias to stretch out. That would be bad. Really, this last got curve. I'm going to get a scrunchie out of this as well. Okay. Haven't made any of my scrunchies so far this year. Cut a whole bunch out, but I haven't made any of them up. Usually I'll go through and sew them when I'm sewing the garment from the same fabric, because obviously the machine will be set up for the correct color thread and stuff like that. But I've kind of like not even tried to sew any of the scrunchies that I've cut out, although I have cut them all out, but they'll get done at some point. It's nice to have them there, and it's nice for them to kind of use up little spaces of fabric like this. And I do wear them. Do wear the scrunchies. Sorry, I'm concentrating again. Okay. So that's my second pocket band pinned into place. I am always very impressed by people who can do this kind of thing with rotary cutters. It's just not something that I'm dexterous enough to do. Right, where did I get to with the chat? Julian says, I was meaning to up my skills this year. Does anyone have any recommendations for couture technique books? I'm really enjoying hand sewing and might even sew a blouse by hand. I have this one. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. I have this one. Claire B. Schaefer, Couture Sewing Techniques. It's awesome. I like reading this a lot. So Boho says, I have used a few cashmere patterns and have been able to get a good fit. However, I smoosh them with other patterns. Yeah, totally. There's nothing wrong with that. You've got to love a bit of smooshing, and you've got to love like the versatility that you can get. Because I mean, patterns are expensive, especially indie patterns. They are expensive, and I mean, I know there's lots of people who kind of just boggle at the fact that I repeat so many of my dresses or patterns. But, you know, I've taken the time to get them to fit me. I want to make the most out of the money that I've spent on that pattern. Because, yeah, like the by hand London Anna was £17. I have definitely got my cost per wear or cost per make for that one. I've got value for money for that one for 100%. And sometimes you buy patterns and they don't work for you, and you know you can't make them look good, and that's sad, but it does happen. Like that Simplicity 8013. I was actually convinced I was going to love that dress, so much so that I traced out the short and long skirt. That was a lot of effort to trace that pattern out, and I hated how it looked on me. I just really didn't like it. So, you know, like you can get a good idea of your style and things, but not everything's going to work very well, always work brilliantly for you. Unfortunately, we can't guarantee that, but I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with making multiples if you've put all the work into getting a pattern to fit you and you like it and you wear it. And I wear, you know, like I've got 16 of this dress. And Mum and I went to the effort to change it from a woven into a knit, and it works really, really well. Right, so I've got my darts in the front bodice marked. I'm quite happy with my print placement. I don't think I've got anything too kind of glaringly like they're gonna overlap at the front. Yeah, I haven't got any. I mean, I've got snake boob, but that's fine. It's like upper snake boob. Snake corsage, because they're going to be up there. So yeah, like those flowers at the front are going to overlap because of like obviously the that's fine. Happy with that. Right, let's finish cutting out this little bit. Nimoy says, I'm thread marking in notches I'll need after the French seams. No more shortcuts. Forgot to Tuesday stitch the waistline of a half circle skirt last night. Only stretched 8 centimetres. Will attempt to steam later. Oh, good luck with that. Really ought to put tape on this side of the table because I'm worried about plucking my dress. Lala Palooza says, good morning from Kincardine, Ontario. Had to have a sleep in as I fell down the rabbit hole of Shire swag tearing apart and remaking Louis Vuitton bags. Ooh, very cool. It's amazing the rabbit holes you can find on YouTube, isn't it? Rotten Ralph says, big 4 patterns are blocked for a B cup. My F self needs a full bust adjustment period. Yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky. I
I went out the other day to bought myself a new bra because I fancy treating myself, and there was a sale on at Marks and Spencer's. And I ended up buying a 32G, double G, in fact, because I tried on the G and it was like too dug in a little bit, and then the H was slightly too big. But yeah, 32G bra, which is mad. And then I fit into the big 4 block pretty well, which is, you know, again, mad. But yeah, it's definitely kind of a trial and error thing with the big 4. Like Carol says, they do patterns where they've done the full bust adjustment for you. You can get, ow, that was a pin I just stuck into my thumb. You can get patterns where they've done a lot of the work for you, so look out for those. I have found that they're really, really good. You might still need to do a small full bust adjustment, but like a lot of the work has already been done for you, kind of thing. So do check out those. Okay. Let's get this lying flatly again. Go. Right. So I still have a final skirt piece to put on. This is brain lines going there. Then should have enough fabric to cut out a shirt as well, which would be nice. And I also have the back yoke that I'm going to use this piece to cut out on the fold, but I'm going to get this pattern piece into place first. And like I say, the grain line is running there, so I have got the grain straight. I get that question so often when I do my time lapses of me cutting out, like, why are you not putting things on grain, or why are you not checking? It's because I'm good at eyeballing it. Let's see if I've got it right. Yeah. See, I think it's one of those things that, like, the more you do it, the better you get at it. There are certain fabrics, like really super slippery fabrics and silks and stuff, that I would check the grain every pattern piece that I've put down, just to make sure that nothing had slipped and moved whilst I was, you know, maneuvering and pinning around a bit. But you do kind of get good at eyeballing these things. Try not to pin the table. I'm failing. That's good. Pin the rest of this one into place.
I always cut my facings a little bit longer than I technically need them, just because I like to hem my pattern piece so that my skirt's differently to how the pattern would have you do it. And I'd rather have too much and have to cut it off than too little and have to patch it in. Not that patching it in is the worst thing in the world, because it is on the inside of the dress, so it's not something that everyone's going to see. But if I can add the excess in ahead of time like this, then I will. And again, I talk you through that in the sew along. Has anyone read the Bridgerton books? Because the reviews on Audible are very mixed. Like, I'm not expecting great literature at all. But yeah, the reviews are very, very mixed. And I'm kind of tempted to actually listen to the audiobooks and see where the story goes, because obviously the series is finished. And I don't want to have to wait another sort of, like, if they do all 8 series of Bridgerton, which I think they've said that they're going to, like, there's another 6 to come. That's 6 years. I don't want to wait that long. I mean, it'd probably be even longer than that, wouldn't it? Because of the time of like filming and producing and making all the things. So yeah. Jennifer's here. Good morning, peeps. I'm only here until 9:30 my time, and then getting a massage. Very nice. Jennifer says to Gin and Pins, Bernadette Banner has a book coming out this summer that is about his hand sewing and mending and stuff. But yes, that's coming out, and she's had a delivery of it. I think she's going to do an unboxing of it, although I think that might only be for her Patreon. But yeah, looking forward to that one. Nimue says, good morning, Jennifer. Massage sounds like a good reason to bail on us. Speaking of Bernadette, have you all seen her video about her Mrs. Maisel dress? Totally didn't fall into my cart. What are you talking about? Same. Jennifer says to Nimue, yes, I did. I did. I need to buy it as well. Johanna says, I have several Claire Schaefer books. They're all excellent. Danny says, I repeat make all my faves too. In fact, I'm currently sewing my second pair of Republic de Chiffon Alphonse trousers, finding a trouser pattern that fits my shape. Ooh, nice. Lisa says to Gin and Pins, I was going to say, check out Bernadette Banner. She has a video on sewing seams by hand. Jennifer says, please remember to like the live. 121 watching and only 64 likes. Noelia says, I like the look of a lot of patterns, but rarely buy any as I haven't sewn them all and really want to. I'm not the best customer as I don't buy too much. I also adjust them for my daughter. Joe says, I've seen some very expensive, beautiful fabric I want for the By Hand London Anna, but I'm holding back until I can make an old bedsheet bodice that fits. I mean, yes, definitely. Noelia says, and I like to hack too. I have no idea what I'm doing. That's totally fine, Noelia. That's exactly as it should be. Eliza says, I rarely cut out a pattern without changing something. I can't help myself. And that's the beauty of sewing, isn't it? That you can make whatever you want, however you want. Nimue says, I'm constantly torn between wanting to sew all the patterns I haven't used and making more of the ones I already have. I guess I'll have to sew faster. Yes! Natalie says, when I did my wedding dress shopping, all the dresses I picked out looked terrible. If it wasn't for the shop girl, I wouldn't have found the silhouette that suited. Now I always look for similar shapes to that dress. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to go to like a big department store and try on a whole bunch of stuff, just to sort of try different silhouettes, because I'm very happy in the stuff that I wear and make, but it would be nice to have some options. Gin and Pin says to Lisa, yes, I saw that. I've got very fine cotton lawn. I might do by hand. Alison says, happy Sunday, Sean and Peeps. How are we all today? Sean, how is Chiana today? Very well, thank you, Alison. How are you? I'm very well, and so is Chi. Rachel says, right, that's my pattern traced out. What are you making, Sean? I am cutting out the 8577 from the Cobra Corsage in the Kiwi colourway because I need another 8577 dress in my life. So Boho says, what's everyone's favourite hacking tip? I use the sleeve head that goes with the bodice, then smoosh on the rest of the sleeve from another pattern. See, that's way more technical than I do. I just smoosh the whole other sleeve on and hope for the best. But then most of the sleeves I like are very gathered. So I think that's why that works. Crockett TP, morning everyone. Good morning. Lisa says to Gin and Pins, fine cotton lawn would be gorgeous sewn by hand. Wilhelmine says, yes, I read them. The books are very funny, but also very fluffy, obviously romantic. Ooh, cool. I should buy. I've got a couple of credits. I'm nearly finished with the Winnowing Fire trilogy. So yeah, I should get those. Rose says, I read them and enjoyed them. Natalie says, I literally use the same sleeve for everything. Just alter it as needed for whatever look I'm going for. Nice. Alison says, I saw the Bridgerton cookbook today. Ooh, interesting. Nimoy says, my most used hack is probably adding pockets any way I can. I also leaning heavily towards uncooperative darts into princess scenes. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Rose says the series deviates from the books a lot. They would be. Wilhelmine says, I like the series are a little bit more political and tell the story of more than just the two main characters. I think they'd have to with those kind of TV series, wouldn't they? Debbie says, I'm thinking of Gertie jumpsuit pattern by not having elastic at the ankles. Trousers with a shaped waistband. Ooh, very nice. Second TV series, there was room for both the mother Bridgerton and also put down the younger Miss Charlotte. You should do a big trial next time you're in London. That is the plan. Oh gosh, I hope you didn't. Kamisi says, ooh, that sunshine. Good morning, good morning. Natalie says, oops, freezing up a bit for me. Anyone else? Oh no. Oh no. It doesn't say it's freezing. And the chat's still going on my end. Dipsy says, hi Peeps, I read the books years ago. Love the series because I like historical romance. They are light and funny and there is some intrigue, but they are historical romance. Yeah, so if I like Georgette Hare, I'll oh no, everyone's saying that it's gone. It's working perfectly for me. That's annoying. Oh dear. Sal says, what version of June have I listened to on Audible? The most recent one, the one with lots of different narrators. I really enjoyed it. Oh, it's freezing. It's not good. Yeah, I've lost a bunch of you as well. It says it's fine here. Shall we call it a day then, if we are having such issues and we've got a long day ahead of us? We have got a long day ahead of us. Rachel's hangout is happening at 4. Don't forget, she's doing her live sew along. Then we've got Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door. Yeah, I think if we're having such issues, like and comment first before you leave. Yeah. Is it getting better? Evie says it's smooth. Eliza's saying it's back to being okay for her. Kathleen says, which is Rachel's channel? Stitched Up. And if you don't follow, you definitely should. It's awesome. And if you think I like leaves and fabric, wait till you see Rachel's stash. You're saying it's better. Nessa says the TV is fine, but my phone is glitching. Weird. I've lost like 40 of you. Nimoy says refreshing seems to have worked for me. Okay, I'll carry on for a little bit. If it goes again, though, we'll call it a day for now, and then we'll reconvene next week. But don't forget, like I say, I've got Rachel's hangout later today. I'm very much looking forward to it. And let's carry on. Johanna says it's working great on her iPad. Anessa says, Sean, you're so popular, you break the internet. Rachel says, I've reloaded as it still couldn't hear anything. Seems okay now, phew. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we'll carry on for a little bit, but if it does go again, we'll call it a day for now. And then we will be back next week. Murray says, Sean, see you next time, going to bed. Bye. Good night, Murray. Thank you for joining us. Debbie says, Joe Row Rags are having a live sale on Facebook now if you need more fabric. Only if you need to stop now, though. I do not need more fabric. Do not need more fabric. The lovely lady from the Cloth Edit in Australia messaged me the other day and just said, I absolutely love your channel. I'd like to send you some fabric. You would you like me to? And I was just like, let me think. So I have 3 meters of a beautiful linen silk mix coming, and I also have some Japanese cotton coming all the way from Australia. I'm really excited to see it because I love following her Instagram. She has some amazing fabrics on her Instagram. And I keep saying, if I lived closer, if I lived in Australia, it would be one of my favourite fabric shops. But I am trying to be good and sew my way through my stash because I have so many beautiful, beautiful fabrics that really do deserve to be turned into clothes. So that is what I'm attempting to do, is sew my way through my stash. My goal for the end of this year is to have sewn through at least 5 of my cubby holes. And to achieve that goal, I need to not buy new fabric to refill the cubby holes with. So I should not be buying more fabric. But I will vicariously live through you guys if you would like more fabric. I always enjoy seeing what you guys buy. So vicarious shopping thrills. We're nearly done with this dress. And then I'm going to try and cut out the shirt. From what I have left. And then I'll need to cut out the lining for this dress. Did you guys see from the first season of Bridgerton, Angela Clayton did a dress inspired by the show, and it was really beautiful. Like, I would totally love to do an inspired by Bridgerton dress. I just don't like Regency Empire lines. So I know I would never wear it, but I absolutely adore the fabrics that they use. I mean, we all know I don't need any excuse for anything shiny, but yeah. Let's see. Joanna says, I like the idea that the fabric desires to be sewn up. It must be fulfill its destiny. Definitely. Kamisi says, cloth edit fabrics are amazing. The Alia Societies often features her fabrics and it's so tempting. I am really looking forward to it. I'm so lucky. I picked one with leaves on it, which is going to shock absolutely none of you. In fact, both of them are basically leafy fabrics. I'm really looking forward to them. Janice says, good morning, afternoon. Bree says, I discovered 2 new to me Aussie fabric stores you might be interested in checking out. My Design and Selvage. I was on the hunt and found some treasures there. Ooh, nice. Rotten Ralph says you can get the inspiration and lower the waistline. Yes, if I did make something, it would be with like a 50 silhouette rather than the Regency silhouette for sure. I do have some fabrics as well in my stash. Yeah, one year I'm just going to go nuts and sew up all the evening gowns because I have the fabrics for them all. So okay. So that's the skirt cut out. So the last piece of this fabric that I need to cut out is the back yoke, which I'm going to do out of those pieces, one of those pieces there, because technically it should be cut on the bias and with a seam down the centre back, but I cut it on the straight grain with no seam because it doesn't need a back seam in this dress. So I don't include it. I mean, if I was making this out of a stripy fabric, I totally would include the back seam and chevron everything because that would look really cool. But I am not using a stripy fabric, so it does not need to be chevroned. So I'm going to cut it on the straight grain and on the fold. Right. Let's. Kamisi says, probably already covered this, but your dress is lovely. Another scuba? Yes, it's exactly the same one that I use for all my scuba dresses. 8972. And I like it very much. And Rotten Ralph says, I'm all for making things that suit you. I love Regency's lack of interest in the waist and display of the bust. Yeah, I mean, they, like I say, Lady Featherington is probably the only one that I would actually want to recreate the dresses exactly because she does have shaping in at the waist. I love those dresses on her. But yeah, I could definitely do like a Regency inspired, but mid-century kind of one because that would be definitely what I would want and would wear the most. Still need to cut out the rest of my words are hard. Still need to cut out the rest of
my scrunchies as well. So that goes in the lining pile. This goes in the sewing pile. That goes in the recycling pile. And this goes in my face. Right. Now, I am behind you currently because the shirt I want to use is back here waiting to be sewn up. So, just reorganizing the pile of goodies. Oh, yeah. Getting myself confused. Easily done. Easily done. Giant pile of bugs and snakes back there. Giant pile of bugs and snakes. Right. Might need to press these pattern pieces flat. In fact, I'm definitely going to need to press these pattern pieces flat. So let's turn the iron on. Now, I've done this one with sleeves, but I think I'm going to do the green one sleeveless. So, there we go. Yeah, need to turn the iron on. I'll need to move you forward a little bit. Let's catch up with the chat. Marissa says Stitch with Patterns have released a new pattern today called the Capulet Dress. It gives me a slight Bridgerton vibe. It would look amazing in a full ball gown. Ooh, nice. Marisi says it only gets cold from New Year's to Easter in North Texas, and your scuba dress is a perfect solution. Pretty yet warm. Yes, yes. Natalie says, I'm marking button placement on self-drafted waistcoat, but do I put button right over left or left over right? Buttonholes on the buttonholes on the right, buttons on the left, which is the opposite way to men's clothing, because ladies' maids needed to be able to do them up looking at them. So that's why women's clothes button up a different way to men's, I believe. Lisa says, it's been fun hanging out with you all, but it's past midnight and I better get some sleep. Enjoy the rest of the hangout. Thank you for hanging out with us, Lisa. And Jennifer says good night to Lisa as well. Pamisi says, puffed sleeved shelf bust dress a la Gertie would make a nice mid-century Bridgerton crossover. Yes, that would look very cool. Laurel says good morning, everyone. Crockett TP says to Natalie S, I think it's right over left for women. Yeah, buttonholes on the right, buttons on the left. Well, yeah, so buttonholes here. Bree says, giant pile of bugs and snakes back there. Sounds like Australia. Yeah. Eliza says, I would say right over left, but Sean would know. Eileen says, do you wear dresses every day? The one you have on is beautiful. Yes, I do. And I get that question a lot, and I really don't mind answering it. But yeah, I just enjoy getting dressed up. And as I've said before, it'd be really simple for me to not. I'm just going to iron these. I'm behind you. It'd be really simple for me to kind of like, you know, wear PJs or jogging bottoms and stuff. And I did make myself a whole bunch of fancy ones of those so that, you know, I at least looked slightly stylish doing it. But I love making this stuff. And if I don't wear it daily, then it does become a little bit pointless. And, you know, I don't want to make stuff just for the sake of making it. That's the last thing that I want to do. I want to make clothes that I love wearing. And clothes that suit me and that I enjoy. And, you know, that's why I make as many dresses as I do, because they're just fun to wear. And also, having put on weight, I really struggled to get into my trousers and jeans, and full skirts like this are very forgiving, and I can get into them very easily. So I really need to run some tape down this side because it's ruining my dress. Try not to put any more bubbles in this tape, in this paper than there already are. Kind of failing. I really, really do not want any more plucks in this dress than I've already got. There we go. That's better. You do have to be careful with scuba to make sure you don't bobble it. I found that out with my really expensive Lady McElroy scuba. It was £18 a metre. Thankfully, I was still making my short little dress, so I'd only bought 2 meters of it. But that fabric literally bobbled the second I looked at it. Mum has real problems with her scuba dresses. They bobble a lot as well, like pill. Especially where she wears her seatbelt in the car, which is weird because you'd think that you'd have to wear something a lot to get it to the point where is pilling that much. But she doesn't, you know, Mum doesn't drive very often, and she's not in the car all that often. But yet these dresses really have got these like very clearly defined seatbelt marks on them. So yeah, look after your scuba. Let's see. Una's here. Hello, Shana Peeps. Finally popped on. Just making a few tweaks to the webpage, and then I'm going to do some sewing. Not done much recently. How nice to get back to it, though. Have you got anything planned particularly for your sewing this afternoon? Jennifer says, welcome to Una. Una says, I'd like to dress up my stays too, but right now I'm still in my PJs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was in my PJs yesterday when I was editing. I mean, I put my fancy PJs on, my silk abalone shell PJs. So, you know, nice PJs, but I was in my PJs yesterday. for editing because I was in my room and, you know, that just made sense. But I do enjoy getting dressed up. I do enjoy getting dressed up a lot. It makes me happy. Jennifer says, most days I'm in sweats, but when I'm in the office I look like a lady, though with jeans. My office is thankfully casual, but usually a nice blouse and blazer and comfy sweater. Blazer or comfy sweater. Alana says, hello, I'm back. What did I miss? I'm still cutting out the same dress. Oh, no, I've cut out the outer part of the dress. I have now moved on to cutting out the shirt from the little bits of fabric that I have left. I think I'm going to be good for getting everything out of that fabric, remainder fabric. Jennifer says, Elena, welcome back. You missed the internet going out for a minute. That too, yes. Jennifer says, I found my mood improved by wearing pretty outfits, even for housework, gardening, etc. Yeah. One of the vloggers I follow enjoys getting dressed up for gardening and, you know, just flouncing around the house. And she has a very similar dress taste to me, and not everybody likes or appreciates it, which each to their own. But yeah, I just, you know, wear what makes you happy. Like, you have control over so few things in your life. Like, clothes and what you put on your body is one of the things that you have, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have control over. So, you know, wear what makes you happy. Definitely wear what makes you happy. Life is too short to not wear the pretty dress. Okay. Ooh. Gonna have enough fabric to make some bias binding with as well, I think, which will be very cool. So, these two bits need to be cut on the fold, so I will, once I've cut all these other bits out, they will fit on that bit down there, which is going to be awesome. And then the other piece that's left over from doing that, I can use to make bias binding. I get asked quite a lot what size bias binding I make. It very much depends on what I'm using it for, but my preference is 2-inch wide, because that will give me 1/2-inch finished bias binding when I'm done. But I also do sometimes make 1.5-inch wide or cut 1.5-inch wide strips of bias binding with some of my finer fabrics if I want skinnier bias binding. But my usual preferred width is 2 inches wide, because that's the width of my ruler. It's easy, it's not too fiddly. So yeah. I'm going to want some bias binding from this one because, as I say, I think I'm going to do this as a sleeveless shirt rather than the sleeved one, because I've got room for the sleeves if I want to, but the white version of this shirt is going to have little sleeves on it. So I think for this one, she'll do sleeveless. Bit of variety. Now, when I folded this fabric, I literally folded it down the center of the 5-meter cut. So if I hadn't, I probably would have about 1 meter of this fabric, like full. Because this is about 50 centimeters, probably 45 centimeters full width of the fabric left.
So yeah, if I'd have been more careful with the folding process earlier, when I was, because the back of the skirt you have to cut on the fold, but I don't mind doing it this way, because I know I'm going to get like a shirt like this out of it. This fabric is 150 wide, so there's that to bear in mind. Like if this was any narrower, you would struggle. But the very first one I made of this, it was for a customer, and she'd only got 4.5 meters of the fabric, I think, and I ended up having to piece a pocket facing, and yeah, I really struggled to get the whole dress out of the 5. No, she bought 5 meters, but she'd needed a slightly larger size than she thought because of the way that patterns are sized. So she hadn't quite got enough fabric. But I managed to squeeze it out, but we ended up having to sew the pockets shut because of the way that the side fronts were finished, which was a little bit sad because these pockets are awesome. Caroline says, not really. It is the friction that does the pilling. Yeah. Pamisi says, interesting about the scuba bobbles. Yes, definitely. You need to be, I don't ever tumble dry my scuba dresses. I turn them inside out to wash them on 30 degrees, and then I hang them up to dry. My scuba dresses I wash after every wear because they are their own little personal sauna suit, and because of the way that they touch my skin. So these ones I do wash after every wear. But like, for example, the 8577 out of this one, because of its sleeveless, so I will either wear t-shirts underneath of it, or if I don't wear anything like cardigans and things like that, and then because I wear slips and stuff as well, so not a lot of me touches the inside of these dresses, so I don't wash these very often unless they need it. But my scuba dresses I do pretty much wash after every wear. Uber says, well, I think the last time I was on your live, I'd started a 3/4 circle skirt, but not done anything on it since. Joanna says, my ready-to-wear scuba dresses peeled almost immediately, turned me off scuba, not bought or made anymore. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I turn mine inside out, wash them on 30 degrees, and then line dry them. So hang them up or put them on the clothes area to dry. Una says, yes, I've a scuba dress that bubbled massively. I tend to wear it on Zoom as I can't tell on there. Nice. So Boho says, hoping to make some 70s style caftans to waft about in this summer, a la Margot for the good life. Nice. Yeah, my long sleeved Magnolia maxi dress, I felt very Margot in that for sure. Debbie says, I work from home, but find that the smarter the dress, the easier it is for me to focus. And Debbie also says to So Boho, Margot has some exquisite clothes. She did indeed. Nimue says, I choose my work outfits mostly for the look up top, the pretty skirts and waisted if you're sitting behind a counter. And it's a good thing I already planned an underskirt and a petticoat for the skirt, holding it up against the window. The fabric is mighty see-through. The shine distracts as well. Famisi says, absolutely agree with you that you should dress to make yourself happy. As I age, I wonder if I should have toned it down. But that's just more reason to enjoy every minute as best you can. Exactly. Natalie says, I'll be dressing myself and think I'm a bit contrary, so I think I'll button the left over the right. Thanks all for all the help. Vertical or horizontal buttonholes? I prefer horizontal because I think they're a little bit more forgiving over a full bust. But then I did horizontal buttonholes on my Shelby dress, and it was a big mistake. I should have done vertical ones. So whichever you prefer. Not that that's helpful. Nimue says to Pamisi, I vote not to give up on personal style. One of the saddest things to me is how old women of a certain age seem to be limited to a uniform of navy and beige. Silver hair goes with all colours. Exactly. Wear what you please. Wear what makes you happy. Wear what brings you joy. Life is far too short not to. Life is far too short not to enjoy yourself.
I'm not sure what I'm going to wear this little shirt with, you know. I'm sure I've got lots of stuff in my wardrobe though. Oh, it'll go with the black skirt that I'm making. I wonder if it'll go with the red skirt. We shall have to experiment. Shall have to experiment. Oh, it is such a lovely sound. Wonder if Mum's back yet. Alexa, drop in our kitchen.
Kitchen dot, right?
Yes.
Okay, dropping in.
Hello. Hello. Oh, you are back.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah?
Yes. No, I asked Dad to ask if I could have a cupcake when you came back.
Oh, yeah. What, from Vogue?
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had one yet. Dad's asleep. No, I'm sort of half asleep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
When are you finishing?
I wanted to show them the cupcakes. I'll come and get one if it's all right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Alexa, off. Disturb the parentals. I'm going to take my breakfast plate back up and I'm going to come back with a cupcake. I'm back. My phone's dying. I have to charge charge that. So this is definitely not remotely keto, but it is Mother's Day. So I got her, I have filmed it, but I got her a bouquet of cupcake flowers. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? How am I doing with the chat then? Quite far behind. Una says pink hair goes with a lot of colours too. Yeah, very nice. Johanna says, I think vertical gapes less. See, that's interesting. I always find that they gape more. Carol says, do you change the arm side when you leave the sleeves off the pattern? You raise the bottom by 3/4 of an inch and bring the shoulder in by 1/2 inch? No, I'm far too lazy for that. I don't do anything to it. I just leave it as is. It's from a pattern that's designed to be either sleeveless or worn with sleeves. So I'm taking a leaf out of the pattern designer's book and just winging it. Natalie says, you think I'd never used buttons before, just so nervous to cut into my waistcoat. Yeah, no, I hate the fact that buttons are the last thing that you do. Buttonholes, it's like, Teresa says, good morning, listening in as I have coffee before heading out for errands. I completely agree with you. Age is no factor in what you wear. Wear what makes you happy. Yeah. Pamisi says, do I remember a cream coloured skirt you made recently? That could be pretty with your top. Well done, Pamisi. That would look amazing with this. It would, yes. Very clever. Chris says, hi, Sean. First time I've commented on your vlog, but always enjoy them. I'm in my sewing room and can see the Isle of Wight from my window. I live just outside of Leamington. Ah, very nice. Jennifer says, everyone misbehave. Nimue says, should we hide the pin cushion? Jennifer says, take all the fabric. Bamisi says, oh, we're left to our own devices. Evie says, trouble and mischief. Elena says, you can wear it with all those skirts with buttons in the front. I don't remember the pattern number and all the trousers you made. None of the trousers I made fit me anymore. They're all too big. Eliza says, yes, take all of the fabric. No. Evie says, move the Savannah fabric. No. Nimue says, you've all been way more criminal energy than me, but I'll help. Pamisi says we can blame our mischief on the giant pigeons. Yes, although it's not made an appearance today. No giant pigeon today. Eliza says to Awkward Evie, we can move half to your house, half to mine. Jennifer says the house elves did it. Elena says, or should we move the pattern pieces? Evie says, Evie's laughing at Nimue. Nimue says, I apparently can't hit the correct punctuation today. Oh, well. And Evie's laughing at Eliza as well. Bree says, oh, be helpful, kind elves, and finish the cutting out for her. Oh, Bree, yes, please. You live all the way in Australia, Bree. That would be a really long journey just to cut out some shirt pieces. Joe says, COVID cardi update, shoulders sewn, neckband sewn, now moving on to sleeves. Nice. King Carly says, hide all the scissors and leave the rotary cutters. Evil. Evie says, it was the instruction to misbehave triggered something. Laurel says, gorgeous. Bree says, very pretty cupcake. There's a whole bouquet of them, like lots of different, I've filmed it, so you'll see it in the vlog, but lots of different flower types and colours and stuff. It was a nice way of sending, because Mum likes cut flowers, but she prefers plants, and I can't find anywhere on the island that would deliver them, so went for a bouquet of cakes instead. Nimue says it's very pretty and very yummy. Yes. Nimue, Evie says, oh wow, that's pretty. Jennifer whistles this innocently. Yeah, nice. Eliza says, too pretty to eat. No, believe me, I will in a second. Pamisi says, such a pretty cupcake. Evie says, is a little halo to Jennifer. Teresa says, beautiful cupcake. Yep. Alison says, my frugal 22 top, which was the Hera wrap top from Wardrobe by Me, was ruined yesterday. Part of the fabric was caught and the overlocker, in the overlocker, and has a big tear in the back. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Gin and Pin says, I'm off shopping now. I'll see you next week if you're here. I've got a 3-day weekend over a short week and then off for 2 weeks over Easter. Very nice. I will be here next weekend. And Nimue says, oh no to Alison. And Mary's here. Happy Mother's Day to Mum. Very pretty cupcake.
Yeah, the two of them are kind of slightly comatose in the front room. Mum's not feeling brilliant. So fingers crossed they don't have anything, but COVID is kind of running rampant on the island at the moment. And the Omicron variant at the moment is the stealth one is really transmittable. So I really hope they don't have it. But two people that Mum has been in close contact with recently have messaged her to say that they've had it. So I think it's kind of inevitable, which just sucks. But I'm going to eat my very not keto cupcake. Oh, God. It is a lot of icing, but it is very nice. Laura says, oh no, to Alison, what a nightmare. Mm. Mm. Jennifer says, oh no. Eileen says, do you live close to London? I live about 3.5 hours away by public transport. I live on an island. There is the only way off the island is by ferry. The quickest ferry is 25 minutes. The car ferry is an hour. And then it's another sort of like hour and a half, 2 hours on the train. God. Jennifer says lots of icing is the best kind. I knew these floral ones would have a lot of icing on them. Evie says, I hope she hasn't brought it out. Yeah, fingers crossed. The last thing I want is for Mum and Dad to have to go through that. Fingers crossed. Alison says to Laurel and Nimue, yes, it is a pity. The fabric was so nice too and has been in my stash for ages. Oh no. Teresa says, prayers for Mum and Dad to not get COVID. Can't wait for my day. It's just another flu. Can't wait for the day. It's just another flu and not so nasty. Yeah. Una says, not necessarily inevitable. I know several people who didn't get it when family members did, and definitely when just being around people. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. They've got they're triple vaccinated. Fingers crossed. Her lateral flow test this morning was negative, so touch wood. There is wood under here. Adele says, I've just caught it, worked in school through the pandemic. Hope your mum's okay. Thank you, and I hope you feel better soon too. Alison says, I have done a ton of keto baking. Today I made a loaf of bread, a carrot cake, and some peanut and chocolate chip biscuits. Ooh, yummy. Nimue says, if I'd make a cake, I made a cake last Saturday evening and we ate the last of it yesterday. It was still great, so I'll be keeping that recipe. Nice. Alison says that little brother overlocker can be vicious. It sounds it. I gave Mum the option of a plant cake or gin, and she asked for cake. So cake it is. Gosh, it's nearly 3 o'clock. Definitely not keto, but 100% worth it. Yummy. Right. Let's get some more stuff put out. I've got an hour before Rachel's hangout. The internet seems to be holding up quite well now.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to the warmer weather so I can start wearing dresses without tights, because I'm such a cold-blooded lizard. I have to be warm, and I need my tights to keep me warm. So it's, wow, it says it's 24 degrees in here. It doesn't feel like 24 degrees. Definitely doesn't feel like 24 degrees in here. But mind you, it is a nice sunny day. I have to say, having a north-facing window in this room is just so lovely. Like the room in Idle Rocks was south-facing, and you guys know, like a lot of the hangouts and stuff, I had to do them with the curtains closed because it was just too sunny and bright otherwise. But we get really nice light in here. It's like a diffused light all the time. There's no direct sunlight. That's another reason that I've got my fabric out on display rather than tucked away behind doors or boxes, because it's not ever going to be in direct sunlight. Because obviously we all know how that fabric fares in direct sunlight. Not good. Right. Marking my notches. But yeah, the light in this is really nice, and we don't ever get overheated by direct sunlight, which is nice. I mean, like I said, I am a lizard, so I'm not definitely not, but it is nice having this north-facing window. This is the Vogue 9345. With the Butterick Gertie tie front shirt kind of smooshed onto the bottom. I really like that Butterick Gertie shirt. And that was an option for, I was thinking about making one of those for this as well, but I just prefer the neckline collar option on the 9345. And I like that it doesn't have the grown-on sleeves as well, because we all know how I feel about grown-on sleeves. I do like my Gertie Butterick shirts that I've made from that pattern, but it is nice to yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the warmer months this year, and wearing a lot of the stuff that I made last year, actually get around to wearing, because I either hemmed it too late or I made it too small for myself. Yeah. And then I'm really excited about all the stuff that I'm making. I've got some really lovely plans. When I was doing my fabric haul video the other day, there was a couple of fabrics that I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, and sort of just sitting and
sort of like chatting away to camera about my plans, I suddenly came up with some brilliant ideas for some of the border prints. And yeah, I think that might even be the first thing that I make when I'm done with Cobra Corsage, because I'm really excited about that dress. I think it's going to be awesome. Oops. I do think it's going to be a very pretty dress. But again, you'll have to wait till next Saturday to see which collection I decided to go for. Right. Mark in my dots and notches. Again, I'm not being remotely kind of conscious about where the print is falling on this one, so I kind of hope I end up with something fairly decent. But I think this print is like random enough, and on the basically most of it looks good. Now, what did I do? What did I do with my pen and ruler? Guys, did you move them? No, I put my pattern piece over the top of them. Found it. Oh dear, I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. I'm sorry, my phone was dying, so I'm not able to keep up with the chat as well as I have been because I haven't got my phone with me. I shall come and have a look in a second. Yeah, this pattern has Dior darts in it, so little darts in the main bodice as well as princess seams, and I just love how they look and the shape that you get as well. Here we go. I don't think I'm going to end up with anything too horrendous. No, that's good. I think I've got snake boobs, but not like awfully bad snake boobs. And who doesn't like snake boobs? We've had bird boobs, we've got snake boobs. Yeah. Right. Still got to get this bit cut out, which is a nice awkward shape, fun times. Then I've got to get those to cut out and another one of those. We shall get there. We shall get there. And then I shall come and have a look at the chat. Okay. And I'm getting around with kind of flipping these pattern pieces around the way that I am because this is a cotton lawn, so it isn't slightly more structured fabric. I would not be flipping these pattern pieces around the way that I am if I was cutting out viscose, for example, because you then have to try and get everything back lying flat on grain again. Just put in my notches. Then put this to the side and start cutting out the pieces that need to be done on the fold. We have a few of those. And then we can do some bias binding out of the rest. How are we doing with the chat? Let's see. Oh, it glitched again, had it? I'm sorry. Oh wow, I'm very behind with the chat. Nimoy says to Alison, it was a lime and yogurt Google hoof. Sorry if I said that very incorrectly. Anessa says, working great for me, Sean. Nimoy says, that sounds very tasty. Jennifer says to Nimoy, I love the German words. I have an aunt that's German and I delight in them. Alison says to Una, no, sadly, I don't. I put all the scraps out of sight so I wouldn't sulk over it when it was cut. So I wouldn't sulk over it where the cut is, so you can't fix it. Oh. Rotten Mouse says, cake is good. Cake is indeed good. Evie says, planning to start some curtains for the living room soon. It'll be the third thing I've made this year since fall when nothing was coming out right and I got very sick. I'm easing back into things. Nice. Alison says to Nimoy, sounds delicious. You'll have to share the recipe. Nimoy says, I just noticed that it'll be Mother's Day over here, the day I return from the retreat. That's mildly inconvenient. Oh no. Oh no. Nimoy says, I'll translate the recipe and post it in the group later. Thank you. Alison says to Una, thank you. I'm always wary with overlockers. When I was making a dress at school many years back, I used the overlocker and the same thing happened. Oh no. Jennifer says, for everyone else, and it is running normal on the TV but not on her phone for Evie. Anessa says, Jennifer, it went wonky for me. Nimoy says, glitch for a moment but seems to be back now. Laurel says, it was for me but now it's fine. Whoops, no, it's glitchy again. Oh gosh. Alison says, gremlins into internet, very hard work. Mary says, cold-blooded lizard, lol. That's best describes me too. Can't wait to see the pretty summer outfits again. I know. Alison says it was 29 degrees centigrade today in Bendigo. Nice. Awkward Evie says it's supposed to be 77 degrees Fahrenheit here today. The cherry blossom trees are blooming already. It's normally about 30 to 40 with snow this time of year. Oh, wow. Mary says, any new summer patterns that you can't wait to make this season? Yes, all my deer and doe ones. I'm really looking forward to those. I think really looking forward to the Reglis and the Orchidee. Think that might be an autumn winter one, and the Myosotis, and then I've got the Melilo and then the Ondi as well. Yes, and I would also like to work my way through my French poetry collection because I have both the Pleiades dresses, which is the star sign for Taurus. And Taurus is my birth sign, so yes, want to work my way through those. I've got the Loon dress, the Etoile, and the Gemini shirt. So I want to work my way through all the French pattern companies this year, it seems. Eliza says, finishing my Anastasia muslin, off to make the changes before the stitched up sew along. See you all next week. Very nice. See you later. And Bree says, naughty elves at it again. Trisha says, right, have to dash. Need to catch Asda before they close. Looking forward to the waffles this week and next week's hangout. Hope you have a great week with Peeps and Sean. Hope your mum feels better soon. Thank you, Trisha. Bree says, Bree's laughing at Jennifer. Canaholic says, out of focus and keeps sticking here. Oh no. Lollapalooza says, in the middle of a blizzard here off the shore of Lake Huron. Brr. Jennifer says to Lollapalooza, are you in Michigan? Anessa says, I made my mum a sweater with leopard faces on it a bit ago and wasn't paying attention. Now she's got leopard boobs. Nice. Lollapalooza says, King Cardine in Ontario. Jennifer says, sorry about the blizzard. Boo, I hate snow. Hence why I live in Texas. Nice. Laurel says, okay. Oh, I've been to King Cardine for Highland Games. Cute town. Lollapalooza says, I was on the board of directors. Thanks for coming. Oh, cool. Nimoy says, it's time of year when wasps are looking for places to build their nests. They like our roof, so we do our best to fight them off before they get invested. I hate the yellow buggers. Yes. I'm not a fan of wasps at all. Wasps are not my favourite. Prometheus says, taking a block printing class this morning. Got to run. Thanks for the lovely rest of the day. Oh, lovely. Elena says, Sean, what's the situation of your PO box? Still not up and running. I am talking to my local post office to see if they will allow me to have things sent there. and I will pay them for it. So I need to ask them. I will let you guys know when it's sorted again, because I know there's lots of you that want to send me stuff, which is very nice of you. Sarah says, good morning. Just realised that the fabric store, the New Zealand one, has pure merino knit for $11 a metre. They always seem that stuff for $30 per metre. Sarah. And then Evie says to Sarah, that's a good deal. Are you treating yourself? Johanna says, I was cutting away and heard what I bought was the sound of your cutting. Just realised the sound was gone. Logged out, back in again, and now it sounds fine. Oh, cool. And Laurel says, Lala, I was in a pipe band that competed. Oh, cool. Definitely, like, 7 degrees of, well, it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, isn't it? Like, all kind of interconnected somehow. Guys, I'm going to call it a day now. I've still got a little bit left to cut out, but it's about 3:15-ish, or a little bit before that, 3:10-ish. And we've got Rachel's hangout later, and then my internet is playing up down here now. I can see it keeps kind of flickering for me, so I'm worried that it's going to cut out and I won't get to say goodbye to you properly. So I will say goodbye to you properly now. I'm really happy with what I've got done today. Thank you for keeping me company whilst I did it. And I will be back next weekend sewing, probably. Sewing some of this stuff up, because I am not going to get Cobra Corsage finished by the end of March. It's just not going to happen. Oh dear. Lala Palooza says, so far it is a go for this year. Hope you can come again. What Ralph says, I'm looking into adding native bee houses to my garden. Oh, cool. Sarah says, I just bought fabric I really shouldn't be buying anymore, but £11 per metre. Also, merino knit would be lovely as it warms up. Yeah. Jennifer says, I'm going to get a massage. Enjoy. Bree says, goodbye and thank you for the hangout. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Noelia says, lovely to hang out. Bye. Thank you for joining us. Finn says, when I lived in the UK, a friend and I sent envelopes to each other with just our names and our postcodes. They got there fine. You don't have to list your private address. True. I just worry about that. So that's true. That is true. But Mary says, love the deer and doe pattern choices. We'll have to make sure I have them to sew along when you get to them. And then lots of people are saying goodbye. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon. Make sure you join Rachel's live sew along later at 4 o'clock. Looking forward to that. I'm going to be continuing to cut out, and then I should be watching it. So I won't be chatting much, but I will be there. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next weekend for a live hangout, and we'll have some videos this week as well. Try and end things gracefully as ever. Bye.